Welcome to the Exile Academy. After countless adventures, your character has grown into a powerful exile. However, the real challenge is just beginning. In this video, we will delve deep into the endgame content, helping you better adapt to the final stages and ensuring you stand invincible on the continent of Wraeclast. Prepare yourself for the ultimate trials and embark on this epic journey of adventure. So how to succeed in Path of Exile 2 Endgame? We prepared 6 success factors to prepare you for the endgame success. Survivability, clear speed, item drop rate, map strategy, currency efficiency, and mindset. Survivability. In the endgame, every death comes with severe penalties. You lose 10% of your experience, your Atlas progression nodes may disappear, and the current map is lost. As your character level increases, leveling up becomes more difficult, and dying once could mean losing the equivalent of 10 maps worth of experience. Therefore, survival is absolutely critical. To ensure your character doesn't die easily, you can combine gear and passive skills to build a robust survival strategy. Here's the typical priority order for defensive layers. Resistances greater than energy shield, greater than health, greater than armor. Resistances are the most crucial defensive layer because they effectively reduce damage from elemental attacks like fire, cold, and lightning, which are common and can inflict deadly status ailments. Energy shield provides an additional layer of protection that can regenerate quickly during combat, offering a vital buffer when you need to dodge attacks or counter. Health is your basic survival guarantee, ensuring you can still endure hits even after your energy shield is depleted. Armor reduces physical damage, and while its effectiveness diminishes against high-damage hits, it remains an important defensive mechanism. Let's take my current build as an example. I use high-resistance gear to cap all 3 elemental resistances at 75%. Then, I allocate passive points to Mind Over Matter, which redirects damage from health to mana before taking life damage. Next, I take Chaos Inoculation, which sets my maximum life to 1, but makes me immune to chaos damage. Finally, I allocate Eldritch Battery, which converts all energy shield into mana. By combining this with gear and gems that restore mana on kill, I ensure consistent mana regeneration to sustain my survival. If mana regeneration can't keep up with monster damage, I supplement with the Enduring Mana Flask to further enhance survivability. If you don't have high resistance gear, you can also avoid dangerous map modifiers to prevent unnecessary deaths. For example, P0, avoid at all costs. Reduced resistances, reduced recovery, increased monster life, burning ground, or maps with the enfeeble curse. P1, proceed with caution. Reduced flask charges, chilled ground, increased monster damage, etc. These modifiers should be chosen based on your character's strength. If you're running low on maps, I recommend attempting some P1 difficulty maps to progress through this stage. Clear speed. Why is efficiency important? Because time is money. In the late game, the primary metric for measuring currency farming efficiency is currency per hour. Additionally, when your survivability can no longer be improved, increasing your clear speed is another way to boost your survival rate. So, what do I mean by efficiency? It includes map clear speed, how quickly you can clear a map, boss kill speed, how fast you can defeat bosses, how can you improve your efficiency. Efficiency is closely tied to your build. Each build has unique combinations before its gear is fully optimized. Here, I'll recommend some common skill setups for you to consider. Lightning and Ice Herald. The skill Stormblast converts 60% of physical damage into lightning damage and summons powerful shocked ground, making it easy to trigger Herald of Lightning. My Herald of Lightning is linked to freezing-related supports, allowing me to quickly build up freeze chance and trigger Herald of Ice explosions. Ice Herald Chain. By equipping the Polkirkle Sapphire Ring with the special modifier, enemies chilled by your hits can be shattered as though frozen. You can quickly freeze enemies and trigger Herald of Ice explosions to kill them. Thanks to the ring's unique modifier, This process can be repeated indefinitely. When preparing a build or gear setup, you might wonder how strong your current setup is. I recommend using POB2, a tool that simulates your build and helps you better understand the game. It can simulate how much reaction time you have in maps, allowing you to use flasks or retreat to avoid death. It's also great for developing new builds to make your farming faster and more efficient. Item drop rate. In the current PoE2 system, item rarity significantly improves the quality of your loot. We can use modifiers like increased rarity of items found and increased quantity of items found in this area to increase both the quantity and quality of drops. For example, increased quantity of items found in this area can turn one drop into two, while increased rarity of items found improves the rarity of dropped items, such as divine orbs or higher tier gear. So, how can we improve our drop rate, and what's the most cost-effective way to do so? Here are 3 key points. Character drop rate, gear. We can increase our rarity by finding gear with the increased rarity of items found modifier. This modifier typically appears on rings, amulets, boots, gloves, body armor, and helmets. When purchasing gear, prioritize your build's core stats first and only consider rarity as a secondary option. For most builds, rings, amulets, gloves, and helmets are the easiest slots to add some rarity. A rarity value of around 100 is the most cost-effective based on the current market. While you can go higher, the cost of gear increases significantly, making it less efficient. In the endgame, we can activate watchstones and place tablets to boost map rarity. Tablets can roll modifiers like increased rarity of items found in this area, increased quantity of items found in this area, and increased number of rare monsters. Combined with map modifiers, you can achieve over 200% rarity from the map itself. Adding your character's rarity, you can reach over 400% rarity in a single map. Party play, friends. Beyond solo play, you can also enlist the help of friends. Playing in a party increases your overall rarity, as PoE2 combines the rarity of all party members. For example, if you have 200% rarity and your friend has 100%, your combined rarity becomes 300%. The more players in your party, the higher the rarity, potentially reaching 1000%. However, remember that loot is shared, so treasure your friendships. Map drop rate. The endgame is different from the campaign. It's a strategic game that requires planning and optimization to maximize rewards. Here are 5 key elements to consider. In the endgame, there are 9 special mechanics: Blight, Harvest, Ritual, Breach, Delirium, Map Bosses, Expedition, Unique Maps, and Trade. Among these, Ritual, Breach, Delirium, Map Bosses, and Expedition require strategic planning. First, decide which mechanic you want to focus on. Here's a brief overview. Delirium. When you enter a map, you'll encounter a broken mirror. Stepping into it turns the world gray, indicating you've entered Delirium. This mode has a time limit, and you must find shattered mirrors to extend it. The more monsters you kill, the better the rewards. After the timer ends, you'll receive oiled tools and simulacrum splinters. Collecting 300 splinters creates a key, which you can use in the simulacrum to fight bosses. Breach. Breach is similar to Delirium, but expands outward from a central point. To farm Breach efficiently, choose open maps, like dunes or beach, to maximize your coverage and collect boss fragments. Expedition. Expedition is more like treasure hunting. You use explosives to uncover buried treasures, but beware of the modifiers on each excavation site. Plan your explosions carefully to maximize loot. After detonating, monsters with corresponding modifiers will spawn. For example, if you deal lightning damage but encounter lightning-immune monsters, it can be frustrating. Clearing the monsters allows you to open chests. If you find expedition logs, Take them to Tame to unlock additional rewards and passive points. Ritual. Ritual works similarly to the Altar of Sacrifice in Act 1. Activating a ritual spawns monsters, and completing it grants points to spend on items or rerolls. Boss keys can also appear in rituals. If you find a good item but lack points, you can save it for the next map. Map bosses. Map bosses allow you to encounter bosses from Acts 1 through 3, with better drops than regular elites. To earn Atlas passive points, you must defeat level 79 plus bosses. You can use Blight or Harvest to increase monster levels, and the final level 82 bosses require T16 maps. These maps can be obtained by farming T15 maps or using Veil Orbs on them. Atlas Passive Tree. After choosing your preferred mechanics, let's discuss how to earn Atlas passive points. Each of the 5 mechanics, Ritual, Breach, Delirium, Map Bosses, Expedition, has its own passive tree. You earn points by defeating the final bosses of these mechanics. Each boss grants 2 points, so you'll need to defeat them 4 times to fully unlock the tree. When allocating points, focus on increased number of rare monsters, improved tablet modifiers, enhanced map modifiers. These choices align with the formula for map rewards. Rare monsters times monster pack size times map base drops times item rarity. In the endgame, your goal is to find an area with multiple watchstones and place tablets along the shortest route. However, some maps, like Crimson Shores and Sandspit, are ideal for placing tablet, while others, like the Stone Citadel and Seepage, have obstructive layouts that slow you down. Remember, the shortest path isn't always the most efficient. There are 6 types of tablets: Ritual, Breach, Delirium, Map Bosses, Expedition. Each corresponds to a specific mechanic or increases monster levels. Tablets have 2 modifiers, with the most important prefixes being increased rarity of items found and increased quantity of items found. Key suffixes include ritual altars can be re-rolled an additional time, breach monsters are more densely packed, and expedition logs drop more frequently. Combining these with your Atlas passives can significantly boost your efficiency. Waystone drop rate. After optimizing your maps, it's time to prepare your map keys. In the endgame, there are 16 map tiers, T1 to T16, with higher tiers featuring stronger monsters, up to level 82. Here are some key considerations. Map modifiers. Each map has 6 modifiers, 3 prefixes, beneficial, and 3 suffixes, challenging. The most valuable prefixes are increased rarity of items found, increased quantity of items found, and increased number of rare monsters. Suffixes often increase difficulty, so choose based on your build's strength. If a map has great prefixes but overly challenging suffixes, consider selling it for currency. Map crafting. When you find a white T15 map, use an Orb of Alchemy to upgrade it, as it adds 3 to 6 modifiers. If the prefixes are fewer than 3, use an Exalted Orb to add more. For blue maps, use a Regal Orb to upgrade them. Then check if the prefixes are full. If not, use an Exalted Orb. In the late game, when you have enough currency, you can streamline the process. For example, I consider a map good if it has rarity of items greater than or equal to 80, quantity of items found, or number of rare monsters, no high-risk modifiers, P0 or only 1, P1 modifier. I organize white and blue maps into separate tabs, apply 6 modifiers to each, and then filter them using search terms like rarity of items and quantity of items. Maps that pass the second round of filtering are worth oiling or veil orbing. The last step is to keep the Safter high-value maps and list the high-risk maps for sale. Finally, let's recap. 1. Defining your playstyle and building around it. 2. Using the Atlas passive tree to boost rewards. 3. Selecting maps with layouts that suit your strategy. Enchanting maps with currencies and tablets. 5. Crafting high-tier maps for maximum profit. After clearing a map, you'll find many items on the ground. Not all are useful, and manually checking each one is tedious. Use Path of Exile 2 filter to customize loot filters and streamline the process. When you return to your hideout, organize your inventory. Identify, sell, currency. Set up your stash tabs in a logical order to quickly deposit items. Use trade tabs to list items at tiered prices. For example, 10 divine, 20 divine, 40 divine. If you're unsure of an item's value, list it at a lower price and monitor market interest. Use tools like Exiled Exchange 2 to check item values. If an item doesn't sell after a few days, consider lowering the price. Purchasing efficiency. When you have enough currency, shop for gear using a weighted sum approach. For example, if you prioritize strength, assign a higher weight to strength modifiers. Use PoE 2db to calculate normalized values for each stat. For instance, if the maximum strength roll is 33, the normalized value is 1/33 equals 0.03. Compare items based on their weighted sums to find undervalued gear. Mindset. Finally, the most important factor is mindset. You'll face countless deaths and external distractions, so stay calm and play at your own pace. While YouTube showcases powerful builds, replicating them can be costly and frustrating if they don't work for you. Consider trying solo self-found mode to enjoy the game without trading, focusing on exploration, gear optimization, and gradual improvement. Remember, the journey is more important than the destination. Play to relax and have fun. This concludes my guide to Endgame. Think of it as a dish. It takes multiple attempts to perfect the recipe and savor the results. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks from the world of Wraeclast. If you enjoyed this guide, please follow, subscribe, and share.